Good afternoon, everyone. It is David Schlotthauer here in the Weather Center, keeping an eye on your weather forecast for March 30th, 2023. In this video, we are tracking a very big severe weather outbreak for the Midwest and also for the Ozarks, including for the risk of strong tornadoes, very large hail production, including the risk for 75 plus mile-an-hour winds across Illinois and also for Iowa, including for Missouri. This is going to be a very big update. So to start things off, here's a look at the very latest water vapor imagery provided by tropicaltidbits.com or Levi Cowan, and we can see on the map where the instigator actually is, the big trough that is going to be responsible for a lot of mayhem to take place tomorrow. It is now over the four corners here over the desert southwest, bringing very strong winds, high fire danger. I did talk to Gabe Nagel and Ghostly Plays. They are down here in Albuquerque, and they have said it is extremely windy, blowing dust, blowing sand, high fire danger. It is very significant there, and this is going to be approaching the high plains and forming a dry line, so there's going to be a big severe weather outbreak taking place by tomorrow afternoon. And fortunately, it looks like I will be streaming this event only for about 4 or 5 hours, so keep that in mind. So now taking a look at your latest watches, warnings, and advisories here. This is pretty substantial. There is red flag warnings where you typically don't see them. This includes for western Missouri, much of Kansas, like Kansas City under a red flag warning. If you're in Oklahoma, red flag warning. Western Texas, northern Texas under a red flag warning. High wind warnings because of strong winds that are anticipated. But look at this. On the northern side of the system, there are blizzard warnings, winter storm warnings, and winter storm watches, winter weather advisories. And then to make things even more interesting, there's a wind advisory, and there's a high wind watch already issued out well ahead of this system, since this thing is going to be a monster once it gets into the Midwest. So now let's put this into motion for tomorrow for the severe weather outbreak that is anticipated. Once again, we are expecting to see several tornadoes, some of which will be strong and long tracked. We're also talking about a 45 significant for very strong winds that could reach 75 plus miles an hour. And yes, we could be looking at a very slim chance of a derecho here, and not only that, there will be some very large hailstones of at least 2 to 3 inches in diameter. So this in all is looking to be a very dangerous storm nevertheless. So let's time this through for tomorrow. So this is Iowa right here. This is Illinois. This is Indiana, Michigan, Wisconsin, and Missouri, right? You get your states pretty well here on the map. So we can see here is the surface low, 989 millibars. That is quite deep, and there's going to be a big pressure response in regards to that. And that's going to help to advect all this moisture northward with time. Instability is going to increase. The winds are going to be picking up out ahead of this. But it's not really until we get into the afternoon hours on Friday when things are going to explode. Look at this. This is 20Z. This is about 2 to 3 o'clock in the afternoon in Central Time. And look at this. This is a pretty intense line of showers and thunderstorms here. Again, once these initially do develop, there will be the concerning threat for really large hail and strong tornadoes. That is a given. Over northern Missouri, over central Iowa and southward, really concerned about some pretty intense tornado production out of these storms, right around where the triple point is going to be located, because here's your cold front, here is your dry line, and then of course right up in here is where you have your warm front that is going to be in place. So going forward here, just only a few hours later, this line is going to really grow pretty quickly. Look at this, very intense line of showers and thunderstorms. Again, certainly some embedded tornadoes within this. Some of them could be strong and long tracked. We could see widespread significant damaging winds in this area of northeastern Iowa, northern Missouri, as well as Illinois. This continues to be a really big problem once we get to 23Z Friday. So this is right around about 6 to 7 o'clock Central Daylight Time. Very intense line. It's bowing out too. And that bowing segment right there that you have, demarcates where the strongest winds could be occurring. This includes for central and northern Illinois, you might have 75 to even 80 plus mile an hour damaging winds. That will be enough to bring widespread significant wind damage to the area, including for St. Louis, Missouri here. Very intense line on the latest NAM 3 kilometer, which again, widespread damaging winds could be significant along to go with embedded tornadoes and maybe some large hailstones. This continues all the way to 0 to Z Saturday, so this would be for the evening of March 31st into the 1st of April. April Fools, by the way. Yes, I'm not April Fooling you on this storm, but I am going to definitely be concerned about the intense winds that are going to come with this. Kokomo, Indiana, right around, say about, I would say about 1 or 2 in the morning, you could be seeing some damaging winds as this propagates further eastward with time. Instability will be weakening with eastward extent, so the line itself will also be winding down. But look at that, going into Ohio by 07Z on Saturday. This is going to be a very quick mover. In fact, in 7 hours, it's going to go from here all the way to over here in the Ohio Valley, which is very quick. So this line will probably be moving anywhere between about 60 to 70 knots, which is very fast moving. And fast moving storms, they like to bring in some very strong winds. Not to only mention that, there will be some very heavy snowfall and strong winds on the northern side of this. That's why there are blizzard warnings. There could be about a foot or so of snowfall in association with that. So you're going from heavy snowfall south of the warm front, where you're going to be seeing some 70s and 80 degree temperatures. It's going to be 2 seasons in one with this puppy. So now let's take a look here at the HRRR model. This is the 18Z run, and this is a very concerning model, okay? I'm not only referring this to our Justin G, which we have talked on Discord last night, but other people are saying that the HRRR is very concerning. All right, but the good news is it's probably not going to be initially as widespread at the beginning as what the NAM shows, but either way you put it, it could be fairly intense. So let's fast forward this all the way to Friday afternoon. You can see the storms really not developing here like the NAM showed with more widespread development. So there's some disagreements on initially when the storms do fire up. But we do know once they do, they're going to be pretty strong. And we can see for Eastern Iowa here on the HRRR model, some intense discrete storms, and then eventually getting into Illinois and portions of Indiana and even for Missouri. Now, take note of these storm structures here. All right, see how these are kidney bean shaped? They're kind of curved with time here, with distance, I mean. That indicates we're going to have tornado production. There's a lot of directional shear in kind of over where these storms are going to be. And these are prefrontal storms because you can see on the isobars, there is a little bit of a confluence zone, but here's where your main dry line cold front is going to be in place. So we're going to have a lot of concerns here for a lot of tornado production, especially over central, southern, and western Illinois. We got to really watch radar trends very closely on model guidance for the potential for possible more widespread 15 sig for tornadoes. And then this gets into Indiana and Ohio, but take note, like this is not really as organized as the NAM 3 kilometer model had it. So depending on what model you look at, if that's either the RAP, the NAM, the HRRR, they're going to give you different layouts of exactly how things are going to evolve. But one thing's for sure, very heavy snow and strong winds for northern Iowa, Minnesota, as well as northern Wisconsin, where blizzard warnings again are issued. This is a very strong, particularly dangerous winter storm and weather system that is developing. So now, further south we go. I don't want to forget about my viewers that live in Arkansas, northeastern Texas, eastern Oklahoma, northern Louisiana, Mississippi, Tennessee, Kentucky, and even for Missouri, right? Because we do have viewers here. So going forward, looking at the HRRR model, since it's more bullish down here further south, where we do have a lot of multi-clustering of storms that does take place, and any of these will be capable of producing some tornadoes. And we can see there a lot of prefrontal convection developing all the way from southwestern Arkansas, central Arkansas, northeastern Arkansas into western Tennessee, western Kentucky, eastern of the boot heel of Missouri and further south there into Illinois, we have a lot of prefrontal convection that could shape up here. And again, this could yield some pretty big tornado risk here. Maybe some strong tornadoes out of this. Would not be surprising if all the dynamics come together very well, which the SPC did illustrate that, and we will show you that in just a second. So now when we take a look at the bulk shear is basically how much shear there is in the deep layer, and this is kind of the bulk portion of the layer of the atmosphere. So we can see anywhere between 70 to 80 knots of effective bulk shear over Missouri, over Illinois. If we do take a look at the NAM, since the NAM is probably going to be our more realistic solution here, given what the SPC has for their outlook, it kind of covers that pretty well. So when we assume and look at the NAM model, you can see effective bulk shear magnitudes here, 70, 80 knots, possibly getting close to 85 to even 90 knots, okay, by 0Z on Saturday. So that would be Friday evening. That is very significant. That is extreme amounts of effective bulk shear. And when we just click on a sounding over here, you will clearly see definitely a lot of curvature to the hodographs. The storm slinkies are there. Even so, we have a capping inversion. Some areas of the environment are uncapped, and that will yield, again, very organized storm structures, especially later on in the period when the atmosphere will likely be uncapped over here. So there, again, this really yields a risk for some significant tornado production. All right, not only that, let's get right back and take a look here at the NAM with our CAPE numbers. CAPE is going to be very high. Convective available potential energy, anywhere between about 1,500 to 2,000 joules per kilogram in a wide swath in Arkansas, into central and southern Arkansas as well, into central Illinois. We have even perhaps greater than 2,000 joules of CAPE in eastern Iowa, where we have 2,500. So there is going to be a lot of instability here. That's not going to be a problem. Like in prior severe weather events where we had more kinematics than thermos, this time we have about equal. Quite a bit of thermo environment to work with here, including the kinematics that are going to be really favorable. So this outbreak is not going to really bust. I think this is going to perform at best as what the models do indicate, because we have all the ingredients there. So when we take a look at dew points are going to be pretty high, anywhere between the low to mid 60s in Illinois and eastern Iowa. Further south, you go into St. Louis, Missouri, mid to upper 60 dew points, stretching even down into Arkansas. So really very rich moisture here. And the fact that we do have a sharpening dry line here is going to be something to be aware of. Fire danger is going to be significant with this because, again, the air is so dry. Dew points in the single digits on the backside of this dry line versus in other events. So right now, when we go to the Storm Prediction Center, they do have a moderate risk for severe weather. This would be technically the third time in an 8-day period that a moderate risk for severe weather has been issued by the Storm Prediction Center. The one area, this is a biomodel severe weather outbreak, by the way. So the northernmost portion of the moderate risk there, the northern circle, is going to cover eastern Iowa, northwestern and kind of westernish Illinois, and the tippy top northeastern portion there of Missouri. Now, the southern portion of the moderate risk does cover northeastern Arkansas, western Tennessee, northwestern Mississippi, and southeastern Missouri, and even the westernmost portion there of Kentucky. All right, this is a very significant moderate risk by all standards, okay? Like they're always at. We have a 15% risk for strong tornadoes. Yeah, strong tornadoes. There is two areas to watch, the northern portion and the southern portion. You know, if you kind of look at this, it's kind of like green eggs in ham. It's kind of like you have two yolks of the egg, all right, and you have an egg white surrounding the two egg yolks. So that's just kind of what this almost looks like. Do you guys see what I mean by that? It just kind of pops out to me on how they drew this. But yes, this egg yolk is going to have strong tornado production, especially for the northern portion and the southern portion there. Okay. And then, of course, hail outlook. Actually, we're going to go to wind. We're going to just kind of go in order here. So strong winds, 45 significant. Okay, 45 significant for eastern Iowa, for northwestern portion there of Illinois, and a 30 sig for strong winds for Arkansas. Doesn't surprise me if that might get upgraded for the northernmost portion of that. This significant down here might go 45 sig. Doesn't surprise me. So something to keep an eye on for. But look at that. St. Louis, you're very lucky. You are under no significant concerns right now. Just your typical enhanced risk, but still treat it pretty seriously because you might get upgraded in later outlooks for that. But definitely a big outlook or an outbreak of strong winds and tornadoes, along to go with a 30 sig for very large hail. That could be 2+ inches in diameter. Might even see isolated hail events up there up to 3 inches in diameter in eastern and southeastern Iowa. So pretty concerning threat there for big time severe weather. Now, as far as snowfall totals go, I don't have them up on the screen, but I will tell you anywhere between 12 to 18 inches of snow is anticipated over central portion of Minnesota and also for North Dakota. This is a pretty big winter storm, to say the least. Not this one. This one is for Tuesday, and we're going to talk about that in just a second, but I want you guys to really be aware on Friday. And yes, I will be streaming, okay? I'm going to make myself a little compromise. I'm streaming for 4 or 5 hours. I'm not going to stream the whole day because I'm really busy in the afternoon hours, but I will make time to stream for at least a few hours on your Friday on the severe weather event for the Midwest and also for the Deep South. But also, next week, we really gotta watch. Gotta have our eyes, get those glasses out, and also make sure you get your binoculars out, because we're going to be looking closely at Tuesday's risk in just a second. Speaking of that, let's just take a look at it right now. Make sure you have those binoculars and glasses on, right? So, for sure, Tuesday afternoon will be the day to watch. Big time severe weather. I repeat, probably a severe weather outbreak. I know I'm going ahead of myself because I'm very confident this could be an outbreak in itself. We have a lot of discrete activity here, even so it's not noted much on the European model. Of course, the global models don't capture things very well, to say the least, but you can see some of these green splotches over Missouri, even over southern Iowa, as well as in Arkansas, do indicate there will be a lot of discrete storms that do develop, and some of these could be capable of producing tornadoes, large hail, and some strong winds, of course. But look at this surface low, very deep for 18Z on Thursday. Okay, when we go forward just in a few hours after that, look at how much coverage really gets going here. So again, Tuesday will be the day to really watch. 977 millibars, by the way, on the surface low. 978, but look at this. Really develops into a linear line over Indiana, over Illinois, all the way down into the Ozarks and the Deep South. So another monster storm system coming next week. That's not going to be the title of this video because we can only focus on one thing at a time, of course. But I'll tell you, wow. This is a monster, and we really got to watch this storm like it's no tomorrow. All right, that continues all the way into Wednesday early morning, where it will be bringing some pretty big impacts for the Northeast and even for the upper Great Lakes, where a 983 millibar system will hang around. So now another tool that I like to use is how much lightning activity will there be? So see what I mean? When we looked at the coverage, didn't look so significant on the precipitation forecast, but look at this. A lot of discrete activity here. A lot of those splotches indicate individual storms capable of lightning, and lightning means what? Severe thunderstorms, right? And tornadoes. Even a threat for severe weather down here in Arkansas and Texas. So again, Tuesday is our day to watch. All eyes on deck for Tuesday, April the 4th, 2023. All right, therefore, forecaster Leitman at the SPC has issued a 30% chance for severe weather for southern Missouri, Arkansas, eastern Oklahoma, and northeastern Texas. So again, this is a pretty big threat for severe weather, and I want you all to make sure you stay up to date on this on my YouTube channel. And speaking of that, if you do want to stay up to date, please consider subscribing, folks. It really, really helps out a lot. I mean, I can't do this without all of you, and because this is on my top priority tomorrow, and since I care a lot about you all, I'm going to go live tomorrow. You guys have been asking me nicely on Discord and also on YouTube that please go live. So I will go live tomorrow, but it's not going to be a 10, 12-hour stream. It's probably only going to be about a 3 to 5 hour stream because in the afternoon I do need to study for my driving test for Monday. That's a big deal in my mind right now that I really need to focus on. And I will not be uploading on YouTube on Saturday, Sunday, or even on Monday, since my days will be extremely busy and blocked out leading to my driving test. So if you haven't subscribed yet and joined the Discord server, I would highly recommend doing so right now and enabling all notifications for the YouTube channel because you guys are awesome. I love you all with all my dear heart, and I will keep you all updated on this severe weather outbreak for tomorrow in my live stream. See you guys there tomorrow. All right, peace.